Hello, welcome to this video. In the last video, we had a brief discussion on numbers and we also spoke about number constructor and number function. In this video, we'll code and see how a number function behaves with primitive values and non-primitive values. And after that, we'll go and code a naive algorithm which is going to find out the size of our variable. I'll be using Chrome DevTools, and inside of Chrome DevTools, I'll be using snippets to code. You can find it by opening your Chrome DevTools and navigate to the Sources tab, and in the Sources tab, find snippets. And down below, you can see a plus icon. Click on that to create your file. I'm creating my file and naming it as mynumber.js. To execute this file in Mac, it's Command Enter, and in Windows, it's Control Enter, or you can directly click on this play button. Okay, now with that out of our way, let us create a variable and assign it a sequence of character 1, 2, 3, var a 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'll create an instance of number and assign it to new num variable, new number. Okay, now when I console log new num, let me type it and then I'll explain. New num value is new num. Okay. Now when I console log the when I console log new num, a number object is created using the number constructor. You can see that now we have a number with 0 because okay, I haven't passed anything. I'm sorry. Okay. Now we have a number constructor with object 1, 2, 3. With you can see the curly braces. Let me zoom in a bit if you can't see it. I hope you can see it. Cool. Let me clear the console. Okay. I hope this is clear. 1 second. Okay, let me close this. Okay. I hope this is clear now. Okay. Now to check if the number is an instance of a number, we can use the instance of method that we spoke in the previous video, which is built into JavaScript. And when we console log it, we'll get a result of true. Let us see. Let me write it down. New num instance of number. Let's see what the output is. We can see it's true. I hope you can see it. I'm screwing it up. It was better. Okay. Now let us take a look at another example where we'll use number function for primitive values. Let me uncomment this one. Okay. We'll take a look at number function for primitive values. We'll use the number function directly for creating our primitive values. Sorry, not for creating a primitive values, but for using a primitive values, we can use the number function directly. I'll create a variable b and assign it a function number with a parameter 1, 2, 3. var b and function parameter number 1, 2, 3. Okay, when I console log b, we'll get 1, 2, 3 number. Okay, we didn't get because I didn't console log it. I'm sorry. Console.log b. Save, and we can see that we are getting 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm clearing this out and I'm closing it. Now we can check if my okay, this is variable. We can check if b is an instance of a number or not. We'll get the result as false because, as I previously mentioned in the previous video, because we are not using the new keyword here and we are not creating an instance of the number method and we are not assigning it to the variable b. And so in our case, we'll get the output as false. B instance of number. Save it. We get it as false. Okay, cool. And I'm commenting these lines. Okay. Now let us look at a case where we create an array with a string of 0, and now this being a non-primitive value, number ends up calling two primitive method, and two primitive method calls value of. Let me create where my val is equal to 0. I'm assigning it to the variable myval with the value of 0 inside of an array. Now when I console log the value of my value of, let's see what the result is. Now this being a non-primitive value, The number function internally calls the toPrimitive method, and the toPrimitive method calls value of method. Now let's see what happens. We get the value to be 0. Now this is returning a non-primitive value. When if the value of returns a non-primitive value, what happens is that this doesn't execute. This has no value for us now. This doesn't execute, so it falls back. Now what the toPrimitive method does is toPrimitive method now calls the toString method. Let's see what happens when we call the toString method. toString toString, and we get myval dot toString, and when we console log, we get the output as toString is equal to 0. Now this might seem like this is the number 0 and it's not a string. Let's see the type of myval, just to make sure that it's a string. Okay, let me call it. Type of myval dot toString. I'm sorry, that was a silly mistake. We get it as string. Cool. Okay. Now when you pass let's see when we console.log number myval. Now toString, what did it do? It converted our array into a string which has the value of 0, and we know that when we pass the value of 0 into a when we pass the string 0 into a number, we get the output 0, and we got, when as expected, we got the output to be 0. Okay, now when you pass in an empty string in an array or an empty array of the boolean false, number spits out the output as 0. You might not know where the bug is in your code if you don't know how conversion is taking place. Now let us code an algorithm to find the size of a variable. I'm creating a new file and I'm naming it as size of. Maybe, okay, let's see the algorithm in the next video. And for this video, let's end it here. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video.